Hey everybody, welcome back. We're doing another Marvel Future Revolution video. We're going to be looking at the initial Alliance Omega War beta. It's the first weekend, November 20th through the 21st. We got to experience it ourselves. I was the one who actually brought us in, so I do want to show how that kind of worked. I do feel like that's a little clunky. I'm going to give some suggestions and feedback to Netmarble about how I think that could be improved slightly. Had some difficulty to the point where on the second one, I forgot to invite myself. I was like, okay, so I'm going to use Half-Sen's video that he put out there. Shout out to my brother there. I did ask him. He said it was totally cool. So check out his video for the full video. I'm going to show it. It was an exciting X-Force versus Sigma from the Omega Flight game, server. The first fight will be X-Force. I'll be in that one. We did handle that one pretty well. So at some point, because there's an overlap with Dark Zone, I was actually autoing it. I know, I'm lame, but I had to manage both. So it was a big pain in the butt. Another piece of feedback. If you do have any feedback for these Alliance War betas, please come to the Discord below. Give the comments. Let me know. Give me like some bullet points. This is the things that our Alliance is seeing, or comment below, or both. We're looking for all the feedback we can get for this game mode. I know me personally, I am absolutely loving it. I wanted more. A lot of the people in the Discord when we were talking were like, I just want to play more. I want to play more. I do like that they're limiting us on it. I'm not going to lie. Even though I want it, you know how we all are. We will gorge ourselves to the point where we've played it too much and then want more. So I'm okay with a small drip on this, but I want maybe a medium drip, right? So anyway, all right, enough of the intro. If you're new to the channel, check out the Discord link like I mentioned. Hammer down like buttons, click notification bell, subscribe, all that sort of thing, and let's get into this.
Bring me WolverThor!
So first, what I've got here is you're going to see me sort of just checking the Alliance rankings, membership. I wanted to kind of show like this is where everything was at prior to going in, so that you could see like what did it show for the Alliance rankings. I'm going to also show some of the points that we got after our first war. So you can see, I mean, it ends up being about 5,000 or 6,000 points that you get depending where you're at in this. But I know it's gonna be interesting to also see, and I'm gonna look at it as how many points do you get after two of these? Does it keep stacking up? Is it in your best interest to maybe go, you know, have your whole alliance do this? You can see I'm just highlighting that it's 0, so you'll see where I'm at prior to. You'll see the total the coins. That's all that's kind of going through there. Nothing really more than that, and it's gonna show, you know, exactly how much time's left, and that's pretty much it. What I really want to illustrate here is, again, just some of the points that they've at least got in the beta at this point. So this was after our first fight. You'll see I try to click the people that we actually had going there. I get a couple zeros, but essentially this is going to show you a little bit about how many points you can roughly get in these Alliance Omega Wars. And again, I'm going to show another one just after this, where I'll go into the game and pick the people who did both battles. All right, we got Cool Whip here. He was in the first one. You can see he got about 6,000. All right, Flash got about 5,500. Half-Sen got 5,700. So you can see it's in that 5,000 to 6,000 range a little bit. Got Haints. I actually don't think Haints made the first one, so I was just showing like not everybody gets this. Mags was in the first one, so I think Mags did fairly well. 5,700, another solid score. Night Eye was in there. We're checking out Night Eye, 5,800. So it definitely matters about some points, maybe some kills. Newfin was in both, did well in both of these. You can see 7,000 points. OB-Jam was in there. Snap was in there. Let's see, OB-Jam was 6,700 points. And this was after Snap. This was after, and I'll show this fight as well in a little bit later, but I wanted to keep this part kind of together, but you get the idea, right? So Snap 5,900. So these amount of points that come in here, they can definitely vary based on how well you do. We're not going to equate it necessarily exact points. If you want to check that out, you know, keep this, write it down, put in a log, check out what their points were later. So now let's check it out in game, what some of the people who did it twice. All right, we know Rob was in both of them, so he was about 800. Now he was a Captain America. So Yags came into the second one. So again, we're looking at this one, so about 5,700. Cool Whip, I believe, was in both of them. 10,000, 10,600. Dirk came into the second one. 44. Flash was in both. 98. So again, it's, you know, it's 500-600 a pop. Mags, or I'm sorry, 5,000 to 6,000 a pop. 10,600. So you really get the idea here. Cindy came in for the second one, Warrior Queen, 44. I was in the first, not in the second. Let's see, Obi Jam was in both of them. So again, the weekly contribution for these are pretty huge, almost 12,000 there. I would definitely make sure that you get these. DTC was in the second one. Captain America supports. I would love to see Captain America type characters, support characters, rewarded more for their efforts, because it's not, I mean, otherwise people are just all about the pew pew, and that's fine, we can have that, but then people won't want to play any of the support characters. Newfin I think Newfin did the most overall in both, so almost 13,000 points. I wouldn't be surprised if around 6,500, 7,000 is probably about the max for where you get there. So Half Send was in both of them, about 11,000 points. But anyway, you get the idea. Snap was in both. So that's the point total. If you're trying to figure out where people should be at, etc., that's what you're looking at. Ice Wolf also in both, about 8.6. So I like the game mode. It's super fun. It is critical for Alliance contribution. So that becomes where you have to start thinking about, do you want to just go in with kill teams, or do you want to make sure that a lot of people in your Alliance actually get in it? Because one of the complaints that I actually have right now is that apparently you can only get one team in at a time. Now, we didn't actually try it because it was sort of hectic and I was trying to get some things in, which I'll show in a little bit. But we are being told that you can't do it. So we're going to try it tonight, Sunday, to see if we can get 2 teams in there. But it's a suggestion that I would definitely recommend to Netmarble is allow Alliances to at least send in 2 teams. There's not really a lot of collusion, I guess. You could have one person get a bunch more points, I guess, but even that, it's like, well, okay, so isn't the weekly contribution pretty even anyway? But outside of that, you're also, Netmarble's also able to do in Dimension Duel where Alliance mates aren't really facing each other unless, all these other factors have already been met and there's just no one else to face. So I think they could do the same thing here. So I'd like to see it so you can queue in at least 2 teams at a time. I'm hoping that they do that at least next weekend. So this is just before the queue comes up. You can see there's about 5 minutes to go. I'm unable to do anything. You can see that there's only 2 out of 2 on this. Some of the things in game 2 that's weird. I mean, obviously people have to do at least 5 Alliance and Mega Wars for that activity event. I'm assuming that's going to run for at least a few weeks to make sure that you can get your entire Alliance, all of those. We'll see. There are definitely some things that work. And again, that's why this is a beta, but you get the idea that they're definitely working through some things here. So I'll fast forward to right where we're going to get to when this thing started queuing. And it was I'm going to talk through some of that because this is the part where I thought it was very clunky. All right, so you can see it ticks down here. 1, I can do a join request. At that point, there's 5 minutes to get this done. Now, the part that I don't like about this is Alliance or regular Omega War, you get a 10-minute opportunity to queue for 4 people. Now in this, you get 5 minutes to queue up to 15. And also before this, remember, this is the first time doing it, and I had no idea what to expect going into this. So I'd say in the future, Netmarble, make sure to put a picture out of this. Give a couple steps, like this is what's going to be 1, this is what's going to be 2, this is what's going to be 3 to log this in, because it was, I mean, we even planned this all out where we had people lined up to do it, and it was just sort of like a wait, what? So anyway, I'm going to show this. So you can see I can click it, right? So what this now does is it shows everybody in my Alliance. The part that's nice is it shows that who's logged in, and then I wasn't sure what was happening. You've got these check boxes, and so I was like, okay, does that mean when I click the box, is that when I invite them? The answer is yes. What will happen is when you click that checkbox, it will become a garbage can. That means you've invited them, which I was like, wait, so did I invite them, or are they already invited with the checkbox, or do I need to click the checkbox to invite them? That was my struggle the first time doing it. So you'll see me click these and maybe unclick them and scroll around a little bit. I love how it says who's logged in. I'm like, all right, there's a garbage there. I'm like, so what does that mean? Is he invited? Like, what's happening? And so that's where I'm just sort of clicking around because I got confused, and you can see everybody, and then it has everybody who's offline. I wish it didn't show anybody who is offline. Just show me who's online, just like the other ones. Because for me, when I was looking at this, I'm like, okay, so what am I doing here? And this is where I'm sort of clicking around. I'm like, I'm confused here. You know what I mean? So it's like, I tried to click that, and it says I have to select at least 1. So now I start going through, and I'm just, at this point, I'm like, all right, I guess I'll just start inviting these people. Is this what I'm supposed to do? And I just start clicking. And this is where I'm referencing the list that we put together so that I know who we need to invite. Note that I invited myself on this time. And then now I'm scrolling through the offlines and I'm like, why am I doing that? I shouldn't even be doing that. I shouldn't even see who's offline. Shouldn't matter. And you can also see up here how many you've clicked, 8 out of 15 and all that. So at that point, I was just like, I need to send out some invites. People were like, what's going on? So they do that. I get some in there and I'm like, all right, now I got to go through this again. Now that one went quick, which was nice. But if somebody does not select that they're in, then it's a problem. So this is where I start trying to figure some things out. Okay. So it's like, all right, you know, I just did those two because I knew they were waiting. I've got 8 out of 15, so I'm going back in here. And this one kind of, and this is where it first shows you there was a bug on this one. Because what happened is I tried to send an invite to Dirk as you showed, but it somehow on his end bugged out. So we don't know exactly what's happening with that, exactly how it's working. And you can see every time you do this, there's 30 seconds. Now, I get that they need time to invite, but I'm now locked out during this 30 seconds. So Dirk's sitting here telling me in voice, I can't accept it. I can't accept it. I'm like, dude, I don't know what to tell you. I sent it to you. It's there. And he's like, it's not there on my end. So we don't know what happened. And meanwhile, I'm wasting precious time trying to invite other people or without the ability to invite other people because I have to wait for someone. So I'd like for them to actually make it so that you don't have to wait as the inviter. Like give them 30 seconds. That's fine. But do it similar to how you invite for a Mega War. And at this point, I just start inviting people. I'm just sort of like people that I know were supposed to be there. I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm just inviting and it's like too many people. So I was like, all right, I'm just going in. And at this point, you know, Dirk's like, all right, try it again. And I'm like, I will, but I have to wait 30 seconds. I'm just sitting here, you know, and Trash and EMC Noel, I was just like, again, I was frantically inviting people because I knew that we wanted to have 15 people, but I was limited on the amount of time that I could do it. So it was literally, and again, I didn't know exactly how it would work in game. We did a bunch of prep beforehand, so we had the team set up. I was literally looking at my other screen over here going, here's the list, where are they here? Here's the list, where are they here? All right, so you can see I have 7 seconds left, and I'm like, I gotta hurry up and invite people, and I've got 12 out of 15, and then I'm on this list here, and it wouldn't let me go back to invite anyone. So I wanted to try to get Dirk in there, but I couldn't at that last second, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's how that works. So that was unfortunate. I think it's a little clunky. I'd like for them to do some things to fix that a little bit. Now you're going to see this Alliance Omega War. I'm not going to comment too much on here. I will say at the front because it's one of the things I love is the zone. Even as a walker, I didn't feel like it was very big. I was really worried about running upstairs, you know, needing to go all over the place, but I felt like I could move around fairly quickly. You know, it didn't feel that bad. I liked it. You know, flyers I still think do have an advantage because they can get to spots easier. And on this one, it's not very exciting to watch me necessarily. So don't look at my character. You can see a lot of the stuff going around because as I was doing this, as I mentioned, I was also in Dark Zone at the same time communicating with people. I was trying to go, okay, guys, this is where we're at. This is what we're doing. You know, this is where you want to go. All those sorts of things. So I was like all over the place talking to people, right? So it was a little bit hectic, but you can see sort of like the little bit of a chaos in here. This particular war, we overpowered them. You'll see some of the power at the end. I think I wish another suggestion, and I'm going to put this on my list right now. Another suggestion I've got is give us more time after the battle. Since these aren't back to back to back, I'd like to look at who I faced, their full team. I want to see their power. I want to see where they're at. And you can see I try to do that, but I run out of time. You can see at this point I put on auto because I was doing way too many things trying to coordinate, and I felt, you can see the score was like, it was a little uneven at this point. I'm like, all right, I'm trying to do too much at once right now. So again, one of my biggest suggestions in Netmarble is do not overlap this with Dark Zone double points. It's too much. I know that a lot of people just couldn't do it. And even the one later, because you start it right at 9 p.m. Eastern, the 5 minutes before is when you queue, but people are still in Dark Zone. So it's like, all right, I'm trying to invite people who are finishing up in Dark Zone, and if they don't get out just in time, I've got this real small sliver to try to make sure that they get in before we queue up. I don't like the overlap at all. You can see right there. Look at all the just Spiderweb ultimates, Iron Man ultimates. There is so much stuff going on. And you also notice one of the things, the cameras don't change in this. It's a suggestion that I'm going to make right now as well, is that I'd like to have the ability to adjust the camera. You can see me moving up here. That's where I just felt like, all right, this is where I start feeling out the map a little bit more and being like, okay, I can get up that pretty quick. That's not so bad. I feel that feels pretty easy and not bad. And I wouldn't want any more people on this particular map. I think 15 versus 15 on this map is plenty. My suggestion, Netmarble, is have multiple maps so that if you're trying to have 20 people versus 20 people or 25 versus 25, et cetera, all the way potentially up to 50, depending how everything can handle it, is I would make the maps bigger and bigger with size. And honestly, the more I play this game, the more I'm like, I know it's only on PC mobile right now, but this type of game mode is exactly where I'm sort of like, this screams PC all over it. Like, it gets bigger and you get 50 on 50 in these type of things. It's kind of like, I mean, can you imagine how much fun that would be on systems that can actually handle it? Oh man. You can see I go back into auto here. All right, there you go. So you can see we won. And this is the part where I wanted to kind of show how strong the other team was, and just to get a feel for how even or uneven this match was. And I jump right to it. You can see I just wanted to look at our scores real quick, see where everyone is at. Everyone did pretty solid. I was obviously one of the lower point totals, lower kill totals. And then I wanted to see how they did as well. And it's like, okay, so from this, now I want to see where's everybody at power-wise. And I wish I would have had more time to do this. You can see I scroll up. I want to start looking. I just want to look. Just want to see pure power. I mean, it'd be great if I could also have time to look at their specializations, their Omega cards, all these sorts of things, just again to get a feel for the teams we're playing. I mean, it's been 20, 30-ish seconds so far since we've been in there. I just checked out the second player. I could have been a little bit more efficient with this, but I mean, I didn't know how much time I'd have. Boom, done. I got through 3 players. That was all I could see. And I'm like, okay, well, that sort of stinks. I'm now going to go and show how it was going into the second one. I learned a little bit from this one, but as I was doing it, it was still just, I had people on voice I was talking to, trying to coordinate. Next time, I'm going to literally like mute the whole thing and just focus on who I'm inviting, because I forgot to invite myself. And I was like, oh, oops. So I'll show that footage, and then I'll show exactly, I'll go to Tony's and show the fight there and commentate on that. All right, so we see the 3, 2, 1, and again, here we go. So this time I'm a little bit more versed in it. I'm ready. I'm just like, okay, I'm clicking who I know needs the invites, right? And that's how I'm going to go through this. And notice I just never click my own name. I don't know. I just wanted to make sure people got in there. As I was on voice, I wanted to make sure I got Dirk in there. Darkseid was talking about making sure he got in. I was very much ready. Dirk was, I think, at this point still in Dark Zone, so I was a little uncertain. I just scroll right past my name. I don't do anything with it. There's me. Oh, nope, not going to do me. So we get here, we make sure that we get some people in, and you can see I've already had 13 to 15 at this point. So I'm like, okay, cool. It really, the last 2 spots I think should have been Dirk and myself, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm making sure I look at stuff. Now I'm a little bit more used to this, but the first time was clunky. So maybe if I'm a little bit more used to it, it will go smoother. But man, it was just like, ugh. So, and again, you see people clicking yes. So that part, great. That's maybe where 5 minutes is enough. And I think I sent an invite to Dante, and I were actually talking about it. And he's like, I never got the invite. And he was on. But again, I'm sitting here stuck on a loading screen waiting for Dante to accept or not for 30 seconds, which depending on how much time I have left, it's kind of like, all right. So that makes it's a little bit more panic mode. But again, this is the first time I've done it. So I think in the future, maybe it'll be a little bit simpler. But it definitely... it was hard to get. So that was when I got Darkseid in there, and then the last 2 spots were supposed to be, I think, Yags and Cindy. So I gave up my spot for the Alliance on this. Again, I'll go show Tony's version of it, but it's pretty hilarious. Where I'll actually show you that I was basically wait. Cindy and Yags were still finishing up Dark Zone. That's why they didn't accept there. But, you know, so I'm just on voice at this point, waiting for them to tell me that they're ready to go. All right, so I give them the join request this time. You can see it. We get them in. So we now got 15 out of 15. Now, what I could have done, the nice thing about this is you can see I can actually boot people out here. So I will be able to in the future if I... Oh, shoot, I accidentally invited you. That's what I'd do. I'd scroll through here, make sure that I'm able to do that, and see where everything's at. So this goes down to the last couple minutes. I don't even realize that I'm not on there again. I clearly scroll through it, but I don't look for myself, which is hilarious. It goes down to the button. And now while we were doing this, it was funny because it said battle in progress. I was like, oh, okay. Now, wait a minute. Can I, is it, and everyone's like, wait, we're not loading. What's going on? And I thought the same thing because I wasn't queuing in, right? So it's kind of like, all right, now what I want to see in this that I'm going to look at tonight, and I'll potentially, depending what it's set up like, is I want to see what this screen looks like if I was not, you know, if I was a different deputy. I'm guessing that every deputy or leader, if this is already done, you can't set up another team. This is the only screen. This is what you will get. You can invite someone if you want. You can remove someone if you want, but you can't set up team number 2. And that's what I want to see. So we go in here. It ticks down. They're able to go in. It was a little bit, you know, like I said, it's a battle in progress. I was like, what's up? And everyone's like, what's going on? We can't load in. I'm like, yeah, I can't load in either. I'm not sure. And then they were eventually said, oh yeah, okay, we're getting in. And I was like, oh my gosh, I actually must not have done that. What did I do? I screwed up. Oopsie me. And then, so that's where I just was sitting around. So this is where we're going to go to Tony's video and check out and do some little commentation on the video because it was exciting. X-Force versus Sigma. So you're going to hear Tony's voice potentially a little bit in this. I'll give some commentary on it as well. So you can see the queue up at the top, 35 seconds. That's how it shows up as a regular non-invited person. And then we'll just kind of go through this. I'll give some commentation.
Did we get another glitch?
This is where you can hear him talking about potential glitches and stuff. All right, we're sitting here waiting. Yeah, okay. We got worried and we're like, what's going on?
Looks like we have all 15 are in.
And we see X-Force versus Sigma. And this fight was I watched this on his live stream and it was super cool to watch. I was just kind of like, wow, this is really neat. I loved it. I thought it was pretty cool. Just a fun fight. You know, it was back and forth a lot. They've got a lot of good players. We got some big players. And it was, and what I really liked about it afterwards was like just the sort of like GG's afterwards. It was not, you know, a lot of flaming or hate or anything like that, which is honestly, I think is needed way more in games like this. Like, I don't know. Anyway, let's all be nicer to each other discussion. Patron at some point later in here definitely had a ton of the points. Was, you know, I think, I don't remember. It's kind of holding on to 1,500 or 2,000 towards the end. Kind of cool to see just us eventually get them. But I mean, so many high level powers here. You can see as we're in here, it's a lot of fighting in this lower section, kind of at the bottom of the central pyramid-ish structure, the central column, whatever you want to call it. And that's how a lot of this started. And you can see, like, right now, it's pretty even, you know? And you can see someone even like Halfsen going down. He's got, I mean, you just heard him. It's a good one, you know? And it's nice because this is like a Mega War on steroids. It's so fun to do it with your alliance mates. It's cool to do a group of 4 in a Mega War. But, man, this is... If you haven't done this yet, this game mode is... In my opinion, it's the best thing to come to the game so far. Bar none, and not even close to anything else. This was so cool. Even 1, playing in the first one, even though I didn't play it very much. 2, watching this one. It was amazing. I just loved it. The fact that we were in a Discord, and you can't hear our Discord now because he had it muted for his stream, but just the coordination, the discussion, where am I at, where you're at, oh, so-and-so's over here, they've got a ton of points, da-da-da-da-da. That sort of thing in this, I just think it's really, really cool and fun to do. So, you know, Netmarble, they've definitely got something here with the Alliance of Mega War. I do like that it right now is just a steady drip. I don't want to see them do it wide open because, frankly, if you think about it, depending when you queue up with your alliance, if no one other alliance has their group of 10 or 15, then it's not gonna be, you're not gonna get that matchmaking that actually makes it fun. I'm okay with a little bit of like, all right, this was a mismatch. All right, whatever. But if you're constantly getting that and it's just not fun, you really need to sort of funnel people towards the right time for this, right? Otherwise, I don't think it'll be that great. I think people will get sick of it. It's like, all right, I've already done this a million times. Definitely slow play this one out. It's just, it is fun. It'll keep people engaged. I know right after this, I was like, I need to get stronger. I need to get better. I need to improve these things. I need to do regular Omega War as well. And I'm like, I just want to, I want to hone in my skills. I'm like, man, I really need to bring my PvP cards up. Just like that. Toxic is a strong Spider-Man on our server, constantly at the top of Dark Dimension or Dimension Duel. See about 2.5 minutes left. You can see Half-Cent's going for Patron here, who had about 1,500 points. This is the part I remember watching, just sort of like trying to get through there because it was getting to the point where it's like, huh. And I think they might take a big lead at some point. I might have missed when that was, but you can see it's a pretty even match. They're a little bit up on us now, but I think at some point here in the near future, I thought they took like a 2K lead or something. Yeah, you can see Patron kind of getting more crystals, and then Half-Cent just took him down. So that's when it swings back to our favor with about 2 minutes left. And maybe I already missed the part where they had the big lead, or maybe I'm just remembering wrong. Yeah, there was a swing back towards their way back, swing back. And this was, I like this match matching. It was really like boom, 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 back and forth. And it got really exciting at the end, in my opinion. It was just like, it was so close this last like minute, 30 seconds ish, where people were chasing each other to try to get it. Yeah, so they're up about 1,400 points, 1,300 points right now. I'm like, and as I was watching this, I was going, almost 2,000 points are up right now. Yeah, see, they're over 2,000 points. And I'm like, oh my God, like 2,200 points, 2,400 points. Like, it's like at this point, with a minute to go, they had a significant solid lead. And I was like, oh my gosh, we might lose this. Obviously a minute time is a lot to go. So clearly, definitely wait till the end. This is when Half-Cent's going for Godslave, who has about 1,000 points. You can see it in their yellow. He's the high point man. And we're definitely looking to track him down. And that's what you want to look for, is those yellows. 40 seconds left. We're now up 1,200 points. So we just swung it. Half-Cent didn't kill him, but we did get that. He gets Toxic. We're now up about 600 points with 30 seconds left. We're up about 800 points. And it's like, okay, 700 points. Half-Cent's about to go down. He's looking for crystals to heal. 30 seconds left. At this point in the game, you're definitely either looking for somebody's yellow or high points, or you're trying to make sure you have HP if you've got points. And that's exactly what Half-Cent's doing right now. He's trying to find crystals so that he can get HP. So that he's like, okay, I need to survive. I need to survive. Now we're up about 1,100 points, 900 points, fighting a little bit. He sees a yellow. He starts going after it, seeing if he can get about 500 of those to try to make sure to secure a victory. It's a storm. That storm bubbled. Smart move at late, because it makes it so that you are invincible. So it was a great match. It was a lot of fun. It really came down to the wire. There were back and forth. There was a swing our way towards the end. There was a swing their way. A swing our way. We held on, tried to heal up at the end, even tried to get that yellow, who it must have been Juggernaut, I'm assuming, who had that 1,000 points. So smart of Juggernaut to go into that bubble the last few seconds, because it's basically like, can't kill me. So for any of those storms out there, definitely recommend that. Have that invincibility bubble ready for you. But it was super cool to see. A lot of fun. Love the game mode. It is something I'm looking forward to for playing for a long, long time. I really hope that they keep doing, good things with this, because I just think that it's something that they absolutely, in my opinion, knocked out of the park. That's what I have for now. I wanted to share this with you. Again, great game mode. I'm really happy right now, but I want to hear everybody's feedback. There are definitely ways to make this a little bit more improved. As much as I'm complaining about the clunkiness of the invites, I think as I get a little bit more experience, and I'm sure others get experience, it's going to be fine. It's not a big deal. I mean, maybe just take off all the people who are offline on it, and maybe make it so the person inviting doesn't have to sit there and watch the 30-second cooldown. I get where it's sort of like, okay, well, but you can only invite 15, but it's like, okay, well, yeah, I think it only let me invite 15 anyway. So I appreciate you guys stopping by. Already mentioned the Discord link in the description below. Hammer down like buttons, click notification bells, and subscribe. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.